Hi, I'm Stephanie, and this is Texas Peach Knits. Welcome back to Texas Peach Knits. This is episode 18, October 2023. I could have waited another week and called this the November episode, but because life is life now, I think I just need to record when I have an opportunity, and I'm sure all of you understand. So this was my opportunity. You're getting a bonus October episode. So I hope you all have been well. I have been doing a lot of knitting as well as other things. Today I do have a finished object, but I already gave it away, so I will be sharing a photo of that. I have several works in progress, many of which you have seen before that I have made progress on, some that you have not seen in a while. I also have some plans for future projects and a little bit of life stuff like making sourdough and going camping, because when you don't already have enough hobbies, you just need to have more time-consuming hobbies. So I hope you enjoy this episode. I hope you get a lot of knitting completed while you watch, and please let me know in the comments what you have been up to lately, because I really do like to hear what you have been working on and what's been going on. You can follow me on Instagram. I am usually pretty active there. And I like to follow people back, particularly if they have a lot of knitting in their Instagram feed. So Instagram is kind of my knitting inspiration place. If you are new to my channel because you happen to watch my episode about leaving the West Knits knit along, I welcome you. I was definitely not expecting to, one, have that episode be viewed as many times as it was, and two, I was not expecting to gain any new subscribers, because anytime you, I don't want to say go against the flow of things, but anytime people voice opinions, let me put it that way, usually that leads to either people leaving because they disagree, or joining up because they do, or they're just happy to hear differences of opinion. I would say that I don't do that often, but I am also a go my own way kind of person. I knit what I love to knit, and I encourage others to knit what they love to knit. So I usually don't join up in big knitting things. I am definitely a non-mainstream knitter. So welcome, and yes, I hope you find something here that you enjoy and that inspires you. Today I am wearing my Benedicta sweater. This is by Knitty McPurley, and I knit it out of 3 colors of yarn that I had gathered over the years through various friends and purchasing D-stashes, and I thought the 3 of them went well together, so I have this light variegated in the color work. I have the blue, which is a Malabrigo, and I have this cranberry color. These two, the 2 pink colors, were mysteries to me. A friend had gifted them to me as part of her leftovers. So this is a super fun and quick sweater to knit. The color work helps you fly through it. And as you can see, it's very flexible with yarn quantities. So depending on how much yarn you have, you could mix up different different colorways and make it a cohesive sweater, even if you don't have all the same. So I am happy to be wearing this sweater because Texas is no longer trying to kill me. Our hot temperatures went straight through mid-October. We have been so hot this year and no rain at all. And then this past week we have had non-stop rain to the point that the backyard is flooding and I'm having to go out and redirect water flow where things have pooled up. So it's been exciting. My boys, who are 9 and 6, tried to make a swimming pool on our back patio by building a brick wall that they stuck the bricks together with mud. So they're actually being quite successful catching water. And yeah, so my whole house is muddy and I am trying to just be really grateful for the rain and for the cool weather. So I hope you are also enjoying the climate where you are and having a beautiful fall or spring, whether you are in the north or southern hemisphere. All right, let's get to knitting. So my first and only finished object today is another double-brimmed beanie by Amie of Happy Little Yarn. I will let you know as soon as her updated pattern is available. I do love this pattern. I do not have the object anymore because I gave it away. So this was a hat for my daughter's friend who invited her to attend his homecoming football game. He is in the band, and in Texas, it is very common to give mums for high school football games, and not just any mums, like the flower of the mum. I'll have to share a picture of of mums, so hopefully now you see some pictures of these things. So my daughter's friend's mother said that she was going to make a mum for my daughter, and it's customary for the girl to get a garter, like a flower, either to pin on or for the boy to wear, to go with, to match the mum. But this is a school that is over an hour away from us, so our area does not sell mum making supplies for that school, and I didn't really know how I was gonna manage to find all these supplies. Plus I did not grow up in Texas, so this is a really odd homecoming tradition to me. I think it's really fun, and I'm glad that my daughter was able to participate, but as being a non-Texan mom, even though now I consider myself mostly a Texan, some people would argue, since I am uncomfortable making a homecoming mom, I asked her if I could make her son a beanie with his name and his high school initials on it, and she said yes, that he would love that, especially since it is getting colder, and if it's in his school colors, he can wear it during high school games and practices and things in the band. So here is the picture of the beanie, and it went over very well. I'm actually now going to make another one for his sister, who she's super sweet and she wanted one too, so I'm gonna make her a beanie as well. So my daughter got a huge mum. His mom actually ended up making him the boy version because she's made tons of them. I think she used to sell them. So she had all the stuff, kind of like me with the yarn. I've got all the yarn. I just don't have the mum making supplies. But so we had a really great time at the football game. We got to see the band perform at halftime, and their high school team won. It was very, very Texas, because this was way far away from the Metroplex and a small town. Like everybody in that town goes to the same school, and everybody knew everybody. And it was just great. It was so fun. So it was a great experience. The whole family loved it. My boys were asking, can we go again? Can we go next week? When's the next football game? And we told them, well, probably not for a while, because driving home that late with all the kids was a little hard, but they did great. It was fun. And the next day we just relaxed. So it was great. Okay, so that's my only finished object and a little life story. So I hope you enjoyed that. Now I have some half finished objects and some partially, well, works in progress. So first of all, my WIP Yarns sock, why can't I think? Sock Blank. My WIP Yarns Sock Blank, which is the autumn colorways. I finished the first sock. This is the Weasley's Homestead pattern, and I'll be sure to put all the information below, because I know I never remember everything. So I knit my socks on 1.25 circular needles, not the little tiny ones, but I do the magic loop. One sock at a time is my favorite. So the Weasley Homestead sock has a modified, what's it called? Eye of Partridge heel. And it has, this is a free pattern. You can't really tell, but this is a 2x2 rib where every few rows you switch where the ribbing is. So it's kind of like a checkerboard. So it's a 2x2, kind of a checkerboard pattern. I did a normal, just my normal decreasing toe, nothing fancy. So these fit me great. They're super comfortable. The sock blank ended up being right at the place I wanted it to be to start the next sock. So my second sock is starting with the yellow. So see how this sock starts with fairly solid yellow. I wanted a mostly yellow top again. And here's the sock blank. This is the side I'm pulling from. And I did learn, I think Jessica in my comments last time told me you can't pull from the other end. And I found that out because I accidentally did start pulling from the other end, and I didn't realize I was doing it, but every time I would pull out a row, it would be like hooked, and then I'd have to do a funny thing to get it to not be twisted. And I couldn't figure out, like, what am I, like, why is it catching every time? And when I knit the other sock, it never did that. And then I realized I was pulling from the wrong end. So you do have to pull a sock blank from the top end. You can't pull it from the opposite end unless you want to deal with the crazy loop-de-loo thing. So I twisted up everything I had pulled out to kind of just keep it together. Again, this is WIP Yarns. It's gorgeous. I love it. And I really do love the socks that it came up with. They're super squishy. This has not been washed or anything yet, so this is just the way it came off the sock blank. So it's kind of squishy and I love it. So I got a little bit done. I took these with me camping. So this was one of my camping projects. All right, so my next half finished object, I'm gonna put this on the sock blocker. Okay, so my next half finished object is the Opal Pretty yarn from Anna Knitter. And as you can see, it is sparkle. My 12-year-old daughter chose this yarn for her socks because I try to rotate through the family and knit everyone a pair of socks as I get to them. Usually I knit myself more, but I'll rotate through everybody else. And this is a completely 2x2 rib leg. And I would say this is about 5 or 6 inches. And I thought, and she agreed, that this would look very cute folded down. There's my little end that I haven't woven in. So she can wear this as a little crew sock, which I think is really, really cute. And her feet have grown. I think she's a size 9 now, so I had to basically make her the same size sock as myself. So I do 64 stitches. I really like the 2x2 rib leg. I think it looks really nice up or down. And I just did a slip stitch heel for her. I am really, really happy with how I managed the color. I did not have to cut the yarn or anything. It just ended up getting all the colors in through the heel. And then just this little triangle of blue where I did the heel turn. So isn't that so cute? so now I have to replicate that on the second sock. So, and then I picked up here, this is this wider orange stripe. And I tried to stop these socks at the end of this blue section because that's where this starts again. And I really wanted to just be able to start the next sock without having to pull out any yarn. But I had her try them on and they just weren't gonna fit. So like I said, I think her feet grew. She's now a size 9 and I was like, well, okay, whatever. So I finished the rest of the toe and did my normal toe. It's just, I don't even remember each sock what I did exactly. So I kind of guess every time. But I pulled out, you know, from here to there, I have a little ball, or I guess from here. So I have a ball with just like this much in it. And that's okay. I'm putting it in my sock scrap bin for a sometime future sock project. So, but I really like these. This, like I said, this is Opal Pretty. I got it from Anna Knitter, and she's actually having a sale. She might still be having a sale where you can get a lot of her opal yarns very much discounted. And I almost bought some, but I still haven't finished the last batch I bought from her. So I restrained myself and I will catch the next sale. But so here's my second sock that I started. And it's going well. And I have a new surprise. I got a little yarn cozy from Chicken Lady Fiber Arts, Lynn. She sent this in the mail to me after my last video when I showed my crazy ball of yarn, and I said, I kind of need a yarn cozy. I need to make some of those because my yarn is crazy, and honestly it's still kind of crazy. But this is so cute. Look at these little gnomes and little Christmas trees, and it's pink and I love it. Thank you so much, Lynn. But when I was putting my yarn into this, I was like, oh, it's like yarn yoga pants because it feels like kind of like stretchy yoga pants. Like, I've got little yarn yoga pants for my yarn balls. So, but now I have an idea if I wanted to make some. Though this is a really nice one. It's really nice, but you know, it's one of those things. Got to have more hobbies. So, thank you, Lynn. My yarn is very happy in its yoga pants, as are most people. Alrighty, what's next? So in my homemade knitting bag, this is one of my favorites because it's nice and big. I have my old shell Shetland shawl, which is a mouthful to say. And I was knitting this particularly with particular motivation because of the fancy knitting and fancy reading and needlecraft club, which I have on Telegram. And in the book we were reading, An Old-Fashioned Girl, the mother in the book actually asks for her Shetland shawl at one point. So I was like, oh, I'm knitting the perfect project. So that's the back. Here we go. This is just one side of the shawl, and I do talk about this quite a bit in other episodes, so I won't share a ton. But look, oh, I love it. And I'm pulling stitches off. So I love this so much, and I am to my lighter handspun. So the very dark gray and this gray is the same dark gray, and then this lighter kind of marled one kind of goes into a more solid gray when it's two lights together. That is all hand spun yarn that I spun the summer of 2022, I think. And the whole center of this shawl, this is like the outside border, the whole center of the shawl will be this light, very light to almost white gray color, which is this one that I spun, because I have tons of this. I probably have enough to make a whole nother project out of it. It's about the width of Knit Picks. So this is the Knit Picks palette, and it is very, very similar to a Knit Picks palette. So I decided for the colorful stripes in this that I would use Knit Picks palette that I just had in my stash. So I'm using this light kind of greeny blue, this rusted gold color, and this darker kind of oceany blue. So I will have all that information in below. So if you really need to see the color names. This is a Shetland shawl lace pattern. It's been pretty easy because it has a lot of very like plain rows, but the thing that catches me up is the holy rows where you do the yarn overs. It has you do yarn over knit one, yarn over knit one, yarn over knit one for a while, and then it has you do yarn over knit two, and then you have to knit two for a little while. But sometimes I'm so in the like yarn over knit one, yarn over knit one, yarn over knit two, and I'll do yarn over knit two a few times. I'll add in extra yarn overs in between the knit twos. So there have been a few times that I get to the next row and I'm like, why do I have so many extra stitches? And I find out that I added 2 or 3 extra stitches in the row below, and I'm not sure I can find a spot. I recently found a spot that I had done that, but it's hard to see. So the good thing is it's hard to see. And I just like collapse it in the above row because I'm not going back. So whenever I find that I added extras, and I can't even find one now, but if I get up here and I realize that I'd added extra yarn overs below it, I just add an extra knit twos where there used to be knit ones. And I know that does not make sense without like looking at the pattern and doing it with your own hands. And I guess I'm telling you just because it is possible to repair simple lace like that, where you don't have to rip it all back out. You can fudge it and make it okay. So at some point in my life, I will be wearing this and I will see a row that has 8 holes instead of 6, and life will go on. So anyways, I really, really love the colors. I just really want to knit on this a lot. So, but I'm knitting on too many things, so I'm not focused and I'm not getting things done. But after I finish this part, I have to knit another one of these long scallops and then pick up and knit a matching side like this, and then you knit the center panel. So it's going to be a huge square shawl. I took this camping, but it stayed in the car. So we drove 5 hours to go camping, and a lot of that 5 hours went into this. Well, it was 5 hours both directions, so a lot of that 10 hours went into this. Not all of it, but a lot of it. So that is that. Next, I'm going to show you my shawl that I replaced my Stephen West shawl with. And this is the O'Kelly's Chapel shawl. And I realized after I podcast last time when I said I'm making the ends light and I'm going towards dark in the back, I realized that it actually starts in the middle. So I'd already done it wrong, and so it's going to be dark in the middle and it's going to go out to the light. Wait. No, it's going to be dark here. Goes to, I don't know. It's going to be a surprise, so I don't remember what it was. I think it's going to be dark in the middle. I have no idea. Okay. Woo! Has it been a long week? I'm going to show it to you, and it's going to be a great surprise. So it's a mystery. It's a mystery shawl. But okay, I love this. I did not take this camping because it is double-sided lace. I showed you that I made the chart and I put it, printed it off my computer. I took like a scan of it with my phone and printed it out. So I've been using the lace chart, and I think I'm gonna have to like print a new one almost every time because I'm just shredding it, which it's a good thing I'm not using the magazine to read out of, because I would just be destroying the magazine. But so here is, that's the back. Sorry if there's lots of clicking. My needles keep hitting this metal desk. I think that's the, no wait, this is the front. It's hard to tell. But so obviously this is lace, so it is not blocked, and lace just really becomes a totally different animal once you block it. You can kind of see. It has so much lace. I am almost done with the first repeat of the chart. So you repeat the chart 4 times for each side of the shawl, and then you knit on a border. So this much times 7 maybe is what I will be doing. And so my next color is going to be the medium blue. That's kind of not, there you go, that looks better. And I have just really been enjoying having my miraculous metal on this, and I just used a jump ring and some jewelry tools and attached. This was a miraculous metal necklace that had broken. And so I've been really enjoying having that on there to remind me to think of our Blessed Mother. And especially this October, things have been crazy in the world. So I think all of us, just need to say extra prayers. So I'm not going to get into all of that, but in the little bit of time I have had to work on this, I have definitely been trying to stay kind of more meditative and prayerful as I knit it. And because it's such complicated lace pattern, I really have to knit on it when I have time by myself, and so that's the perfect time to pray. So someone in the comments said that they like to put saint medals on their projects when they were praying for a specific family member. And I do know that all of my children are named for saints, and I was not named for a saint. I was named for a for Stephanie Powers, the soap opera star. But I have adopted Saint Stephen, the first martyr, as my saint. So I love the idea of getting saint medals for all of my children's saints and for my husband. And then whenever I am working on a project for them specifically, I can put their saint name medal or their confirmation saint and remember to pray for them. So I think that's beautiful. So thank you so much for mentioning that in the comments, and I can't put my mind on your exact name, but thank you. I did very much remember your comment. So that is how that is going, and it's going to keep going little by little. So most of these, as you can see, are long-term projects. Okay, for a shorter term project, this has to be done by Tuesday. Can you guess what this is? So I don't often crochet, and but I do know how to crochet, and I like to crochet. But this is for my 9-year-old son, who is going to be Robin Hood for Halloween. And see, it's not done yet. There's something else I need to do to it, and I'll share the link to the pattern. It was a free pattern. And look how cute it is. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. So it definitely needs to be bigger. I floofed up my hair. It definitely needs to be bigger, but you can already kind of see the shape, but it is so cute. And I'm using some of my Aunt Tilly's green yarn that I inherited, and it's just old acrylic yarn, and I knit Sharky from Shark Week out of it before. So this is turning out super cute, and this son is going to be Robin Hood, and my 6-year-old son is going to be Little John. So they are going to have so much fun, and they're going to be so cute. So that's exciting. Little crochet project. And like I said, I will share the link to the pattern below if you need a last minute Halloween costume for your child. I don't put a lot of effort into Halloween. I let my kids pretty much figure it out of the costume box. But sometimes I will make little extra pieces to make it happen. I have a big one to show you. I was thinking about doing a whole scrappy blanket episode to update you on all my scrappy blankets, but I've really only been working on one because I really want to finish it. So my Yuletide blanket, here is my Yuletide blanket bin. This is like an IKEA toy bin, if you can tell. This is getting huge, and this bin was overflowing with yarn when I started. This is all just yarn I found in my garage and in behind things. This is what I have left. All of these are squishy. I already ran out of one of the colors, so I'm starting to sub colors as needed. This is the Yuletide blanket by Attic 24. I have loved crocheting this. It's so fun, and I was able to put together a huge mishmash of colors and weights. They're mostly worsted, light worsted, and a little bit of bulky or chunky maybe. But let me see if I can show you this. Okay, so here it is. Isn't it wonderful? Oh, it is so fun. So the center of it is its own little pattern, and then once you get out of the very center, it's the same 3 rows repeated over and over again, and she gives you the color order so that it looks random. So it's supposed to look random. I love it. And I have stitch marker. This Amie from Noble Character Crafts sent me, and I thought the gingerbread man was the perfect stitch marker to mark my progress on this, since it's a Christmas blanket. So I have done about a foot, I would say, of rows since the last time I showed it, which is quite a bit of work because it is getting quite big. So it's going to be even bigger, and so it is going to get even bigger, but it's already a big blanket. Look at that. So I'm so excited about this. I am going to be putting it in my living room, and I think it's going to live in my living room every November through like February probably. That's when we need blankets on the couch. Now, one of my other crochet scrappy blankets I have plans to put in here. I want to replace that little woven blanket. That was a gift that my husband and I received for our wedding 18 years ago. And it's still in good condition. It's still a great blanket, but I want something more colorful. So the second blanket I'm working on, that scrappy crochet blanket, I have plans to put in here to replace that blanket. It's always good to update things, right? So let's see here. I think I forgot to bring my newest pattern. So looking forward, I'm going to be starting a sweater for my 14-year-old daughter out of these yarns, which I showed before. I actually started a pattern that she liked, but I was not 100% happy with it, so this is only as far as I got. Do you ever do that where you think you're going to start something, and then because you're not totally invested in it, you just don't work on it, and then it kind of fades away? So her sweater was going to fade away because I was not happy with the pattern. And I think I chose the pattern even and she approved it, but I was not happy with it. So I won't share what it was because I don't want to, if anybody has knit it, I don't want them to feel like, oh, I knit that and I liked it. What's wrong with me? But so Wise Owl Knits, Cheryl, she updated her website and I get her emails and I found out that she was doing buy one, get one free patterns. And I have never purchased a pattern from her and I've just been waiting for the opportunity. And you all know that I like a frugal find. So buy one, get one free knitting patterns is a great deal. So she has a ton of cable-y, beautiful sweaters, also some lightweight. She has a t-shirt, like a summer t-shirt pattern that I was really tempted to buy because I thought it looked so wearable. But I ended up buying the Boxy cable sweater, which is a turtleneck, and I will try to share a picture since I forgot to bring the pattern with me in here today. But it's a turtleneck and then it has cables over the shoulders and partway down the arm. And then the rest is stockinette. So it looks like it would be kind of interesting to knit, but also once you get into it, you just go. And so I'm going to be knitting that out of this yarn. I'm doing the turtleneck and the cables and then any kind of ribbing on cuffs and around the waist out of this purple Cascade 220. And then I will be knitting all the stockinette body and the arms out of this Cascade 220 paints because I don't have enough to do a whole sweater. I'm going to be putting them together. My daughter has already said she loves this combination, and so I just have to do it. And then the other pattern I bought from her was one of her newer patterns, which is the Wildflower Tee, and it is a circular yoke colorwork tee pattern with a floral design, and it is so pretty, and it would be perfect for scrappy projects, scrappy use of yarn. So I'm going to be digging through my yarn stuff and finding yarns to maybe knit that for myself maybe in the spring. So that is what is coming up. Now I have an acquisition for you. I received a really, really sweet gift from Emily of Wooldenburn, and I'm going to crinkle and then I'll come back. So Emily of Wooldenburn does a little bit of yarn dyeing. She's getting into it a little more. I purchased this set from her last Mother's Day. It is the Red Wall Flowers colorway. I love these colors. I love these like earthy, rich colors. So these are Rosy, Tansy, Columbine, Lupin, and Bryony. But for my 1-year podcast anniversary, she sent me a skein of her practice yarn from when she was practicing for this. And it is this beautiful purple sock yarn. Look at that. It is just so jewel toned. And I think these are going to be friends. So she sent me this, which is a practice for these. And you can see she went a little bit lighter with the final result. But so I think that makes this a perfect combination. So I'm thinking about knitting some of the little minis, scrappy socks like the Crazy Sock Lady has knit in the past. I'm going to have to look back up her past episodes to double check how she did them. But then Emily surprised me with some mohair, and I take that back. A friend of mine visited Ireland and brought me home a cone of cranberry colored mohair. like a cone of it. And I tried knitting. I didn't really know what it was. This was like 2011. Actually, it was way before that. It was probably 2007 or 2006. And I wasn't really sure what to do with it. So I tried to make just like a lace stole out of it, but I was not enjoying it. So it's been sitting on my yarn shelf since then. But everybody's been using mohair, so I need to figure out how to use mohair now. But Emily sent me these. It feels kind of like my dog Patrick, very silky. And this is Parisian Luxury Kid Mohair, and the color is Velvet Bilberry. And she found these at her local thrift store for $1.99. So I am just so tickled that she sent me one of her thrift store finds, because that is like my favorite thing ever, is to find fancy yarn at the thrift store. So this is such a sweet gift, because I know how excited she must have been when she found this, and I was very excited to receive it. So thank you, Emily, and I'm so glad we share similar interests of finding great deals on yarn. So I am gonna have to figure out what to do with it. And I think it could be combined with this, but I think I'm gonna do something really different with this, and I'm gonna have to think on it, because it's gotta be something special. So frugal find of the week is Emily's thrift store mohair. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so I've already been talking a really long time, and my little reading book club, the Fancy Reading and Needlecraft Club, has wrapped up for our first round. We read An Old-Fashioned Girl by Louisa May Alcott, and it was just such a charming story. It was very fun to read. I went back and forth between reading my hard copy book and then listening to chapters through LibriVox. So I don't know if you use LibriVox for free audiobooks, but for books that are open, they're no longer open copyright books, tons of them are on LibriVox, and you can listen to them. Usually you have to click each individual chapter, so I could go just listen to a 30-minute chapter while I knit, and then later in the evening when I was reading in bed, I could read the actual book and just be on the next chapter. So it worked out really great. So if you haven't used LibriVox, I highly recommend. But I loved being a part of the little book club through Telegram. We will be doing another round of it. All those details will come out soon, but it will be after the holidays, because Holly, Emily, and I all have kids and families and lives, and as much as I would love to host a perpetual book club, it's just not a possibility right now. So, but if you haven't read An Old-Fashioned Girl, I highly recommend it. It looks at the human condition, and while this character is set up to be the perfect person and these other characters are set up to have flaws, it really isn't so cut and dry. You really see a lot of variety in people's abilities and ability to change, and what kinds of situations cause that change to take place. So they do meet some kind of struggles in their lives. It's not like it's not a thriller. It's not like, you're not going to come to anything that you're going to feel tragic about or like you know, end up crying or anything like that. It's a very just sweet, simple story, but I think it has a lot to say about how people really are, and especially about how people act in different types of groups and society. So I do highly recommend it. I really, really enjoyed reading it, and it wraps up so beautifully in the end. My one thing that I was kind of sad about, and with a lot of the books you get this way, where you're like, oh, I wish it hadn't ended, I want to know more. I think it would make an awesome TV miniseries, actually, because there were so many different characters and you could have storylines for all of their different lives and for what happens after the book. And it would make perfect knitting TV, because you wouldn't have to, I guess, perfect knitting TV for me, because I love to like feel confident that I'm gonna go away feeling good. And there have been shows in the past that I've given up watching because I felt like they were just throwing in drama or throwing in just horrible events just to like shock the audience. And I definitely, especially once I had children, I wanted peaceful and normal lives. I know normal lives can sometimes have hard events and tragedy, but it's good to be able to watch a show and know that like good is going to come out of it and you're going to go away being able to sleep that night. And so I think that this book and any kind of like after story from the book would make a great TV miniseries. So maybe in my next lifetime I will write and produce that. Probably not. So otherwise, book club was awesome. If you want to join us, just be watching for me to say that the next round of book club is open, and I will be announcing what book we will be reading for that. Life-wise, we did get back from camping. We went to Government Canyon State Park, which is the ugliest name for a campsite. It is just northwest of San Antonio, and it's a pretty small campgrounds, but it has extensive hiking trails. We took our dog with us for the first time and we tent camped, and I will say that the dog did awesome. He was a great camper, and he slept straight through the night in the tent with us and was great. I did all the meal planning and prep, and you know, camping is a lot of work for the mom. And if any of you camp, you probably know this, but like somebody takes on the bulk of the camping work, and in our house it is me, because October is a super crazy month for my husband, and so the majority of the time to do that kind of thing is me, because I'm the one at home. So it took me almost a week to get ready for camping. We were gone for 3 days, and then it took me almost a week to get undone from camping. So, but I was really happy with my camping menu this time. I thought all of my meals really went really well. The only one that was requested for us not to have again was actually pancakes, which I was surprised, but my husband complained about the syrup being messy, and the kids complained that it wasn't as fast to like get their food. So we might just do like breakfast tacos next time, which would be a little bit faster. Oh, so the Government Canyon Park, it has like around a little more than 20 campsites, and they are all tent camping with like water spigot somewhere nearby, but not on the site. and community restrooms. Now I was really happy. The restrooms were awesome, and they even had like an outdoor sink area where the restrooms were, where you could wash dishes if you wanted to. So that was really nice. The hiking trails were good. They have some of the hiking trails restricted to pets, so we could not go on the furthest out trails because we had the dog with us. And I think the reasoning for that is because they're at like a nature preserve, and they're trying to keep house pet stuff out of the wild animal area. So we just stuck to the trails that pets were allowed on. But there were plenty of trails for us. All the kids did really great. We camped with my husband's twin brother, and he brought his 4 children, and so we had tons of kids running around, and all the cousins adore each other and just had a really great time. So and I did a lot of reading and knitting and and then a lot of cooking and those kinds of things, because the kids all entertained each other. So I really didn't need to entertain kids at all, which was great. So I hope you have had a lovely October. And if you're still here, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.